I should probably open up the chat log so that way I can actually see it. Because that would probably be beneficial if I could be able to see it. Close out of here, move that there, do the stuff, move the things, set up the shenanigans. You know it. That was a good yawn. You do your thing, lady. Do your thing. Just take it with you. Let it be gone. Let it be gone. Hello, Mr. James. Hello, welcome everybody. Someone's gonna win the engine from the giveaway that I was supposed to do last night, but I got caught up at the shop, so now we're doing it today. Bro, I didn't even get an order. I know! I'm waiting on the restock. So there's like 15 open orders now that I'm waiting on restock items to come in for certain sizes, and there's fun colored hoodies coming with some of those, but they took too long, dude. I'm sorry. Dan, Tanner's got a camera with a refresh rate that matches the output that doesn't make. Dude, I know. I actually have I have a decent webcam this time. Normally I'd use like my cam link, and I'd actually just use like my DSLR, but I actually have a webcam now. All right, actually got a webcam this time. Aloha, what's going on? So yeah, I meant to do this last night, but I got caught up at the shop. That's also why there hasn't been a video all week. I've been knocking out. I'm slammed with customer cars, which you guys are gonna get a video on one tomorrow night of a stock block 646 car again, because that seems to be like the new cookie cutter thing that we're doing, is putting big turbos on high mileage stock engines when we know they're not going to live. Okay, we are now in the market of building bombs. We are a bomb factory. I don't know if I can say that on here. We're building bombs, though. That's what happens when you put these massive turbos on these things, but it's all right. Engine giveaway, no way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was open all last month for everybody to get in. I did a terrible job of announcing it, so yeah, that's my bad on that one. I forgot it was going on also. The legend himself, thank you for the work, brother. Hey, what's going on, dude? Bought my first Subaru WRX 2022 last night. I gotta say, it's so fun to drive. What? Oof. Doing the blowing smoke, man. No, those are good cars. They're fun cars right there. My WRX is currently having an oil consumption test done. Wish me luck. I'm helping someone walk through oil consumption issues right now, and it is there's a handful of things that could always be, handful of things, but maybe working extra for the monies. Hey, what's up, David? What's up, dude? What's up, man? Off. ATF are the dogs. Which ATF are we talking about here? I want the master's advice on my timing cover bolt backing out. What do you mean your timing cover? The timing cover bolt backed out? If it backed out, it means it was never tight. If the bolt. Was the coupler a 2.75? I'm gonna be honest, man. I haven't even checked yet. It's still sitting in the truck. We had dinner. I had to do some errands and some other stuff, so the coupler is still in the truck. You guys will actually see it's a. Dude, what kind of username is that? A.Zavgo. His car's in the shop right now. You guys are getting a video on that tomorrow night. Stock motor 646 car, and his car came from another shop, and there's been like so many little things that were just red flags. So we're still getting it sorted. It should be up and running tomorrow though. Raymond Child, appreciate the dono, man. I came in first place in street modified class and autocross group this year. Hey, that's what's up, dude. Congrats, man. How was it? You have fun? Can you still use the dial on the STI to switch between maps on a Haltech ECU? Technically, you can, I believe. I don't know. I've never set mine up that way because I always just have one map. Or if you have a flex fuel sensor, there's not really a need to run separate maps. If you're on a Haltech and you have a flex fuel sensor, what are you trying to go between maps for? Just different boost levels, I'm assuming? Why not just keep it on max boost all the time? What happens if you run into someone and you need max boost? Boom. Boom! Please, easy 30 content with Twin J. Ben, I'm telling you, you give me $30,000 and I'll build that engine with those turbos and I'll make all the content on the world on it for you. All right. First initial and start of my last name. That makes sense now. That actually makes sense now. Okay, you got me there. Quantum Performance Subaru build gets even crazier. Radiator hose popped off when I simply touched them. Yeesh. I will say I have had. This was years ago. I had one customer's car where he actually did have a lower radiator hose pop off. I suggested he was on a really tight budget. I suggested we replace the clamps. He didn't have any more money to do that kind of stuff. We're like, all right, we'll come back to it later, and that was just a nightmare. On the FD, am I running flex fuel? Flex fuel? I am. I do have a flex fuel set up on the FD. You know what's bad, you guys? I think there's my mind where after I finish a car, I'm like, I need to sell this and I want to buy something else. I'm already thinking that with the FD, and it's absolutely terrible. I actually think there is something wrong with me. It's I don't know. I don't know what's wrong in my brain. I don't know what is wrong in my brain. But yes, we do have a flex fuel sensor on the FD. Is it bad? I went from driving automatic for 5 years to a Subaru WRX manual 2022 at 23 years old. Well, what's bad about that? Ain't nothing bad about that. I turned off the mic. Oh, I think it's this. I think it's that. Hang on. There we go. It should be back now. I got a little too emotional with the mic. I got a little too emotional with the mic there. We didn't hear anything you said. That's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing. I was just talking about the internal monologue and sickness inside of my mind where after I finish a car, I have this weird unwanted desire to sell it and build something else. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. But for some reason, I feel that way with the FD right now. And I've been daily driving the FD too, so I don't even know why. Anyways, where the poop is Matt? He promised us monthly appearances. I think he's still at work. I think he's actually at work right now. What is today? Saturday? He's at work right now. Does the video where you build EJ25 heads apply for higher horsepower? Yeah. It applies for all building Subaru cylinder heads. The only difference that you're going to run into is valve lash measurements. So you're just going to have to look at the cam card and then verify that across. Hey, oh, Mr. Owace, what's up? If you sell the GCA, please sell it to me. I don't even want to say anything about that. If I sold the GCA, it would be for so much money. I'm not going to sell a car. I don't plan on selling that car, though. Winner, chicken dinner. Yes, sir. We're going to pick an engine winner. Someone's going to be winning a built EJ25 rod and piston engine this evening from our giveaway that ran last month. And I do want to throw this out there. If you've placed an order and your order has not shipped yet, I am just waiting on the restock to come in for specific sizes. So as soon as that shows up, it will be going out to you guys. We sold out of a lot of sizes, a lot faster than I anticipated. So I do apologize about that. So a daily driven rotary is something to be definitely proud of. Dude, that thing, the RX-7 has been driving phenomenal. Aside from not knowing the fuel level, that aside, the car's been phenomenal. It is too efficient, though. I found this out. It is too efficient to where you have to block off half of the radiator with a piece of cardboard. If you don't, the coolant temps will hang out at like 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is way too cold because the car never technically gets out of cold start enrichment tables. So it always runs richer than it should. But you know. Oh, snap. Grats to whoever wins. We'll find out here shortly. Matt was just on voice on Discord because he was bored. You should join the fun. Oh, I may jump on there tonight then. I may jump on there after this. What time is it over there? It's 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. 7:30. So you come in for Oasis B-Day? We were talking about that. I told him I'd be down. I told him that I'd drive out there. On a 13B, my builder claims I'm capped at 18 pounds on pump and over 25 on E. And it claims flex fuel sensor won't work because it doesn't read under 70%. What do you mean? A flex fuel sensor will 100% read under 70%. That's the whole point of a flex fuel sensor, is it reads the ethanol content. You can have normal pump gas in your car and have it run through an ethanol sensor, and it will still read the ethanol content. It'll be around 10%. An ethanol sensor will read below 70% ethanol. Whatever tuner told you that otherwise, that dude's high. That dude is actually... I'm not a tuner, okay? And I know this. I've done enough of my own base map building and setting up ECUs to know this stuff. I would honestly, maybe look for a new tuner. I don't know. I thought someone was winning corn in the cob. Awkward. I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you want. Gotta say, I loved the rotary board weekly design. Super unique. Dude, that's my favorite one. I wear that thing all the time. That's one of my favorite ones. Where the doggos, Mochi is laying on the couch. She's had like a stomach ache all day. I swear. This corgi is the most fragile dog I've ever had. Maybe she ate something she wasn't supposed to. She was throwing up all day. She's just not feeling too hot, so she's chilling. She ate some boiled chicken and is hanging out now. Yogi, I don't even know where he's at. I think he's under my desk. I wish I knew iWire was ending their harness. Dude, I got in. So I have another customer's 2.5 RS sitting over at the shop right now, right? And it's a 97 Impreza L, and that thing. I've been needing to send out the harness for it to get merged. I got onto one of the pre-orders for the last 25 that iWire is doing. thankfully. So that will be sorted. I need to pull that harness out and then shoot it over to iWire this coming week. Which brings up the question: what is iWire gonna do? What's iWire gonna do if they're not doing harness merges? It's like their whole thing is harness merges. Will you ever touch an Evo in the future? With all due respect. What do you mean? I had an Evo. I had the Evo 8. Are you talking? Will I ever touch another one? I would like an Evo 9. I wouldn't mind an Evo 9. To be honest, the next thing that I want is a GTR, either an R32 GTR or an R35. I've been perusing Marketplace. I was debating throwing the RX-7 on Marketplace for a trade for an R35 or an R32 because my brain works in... I'm dumb, okay? I'm just dumb. I'm stupid. But I do this, okay? And, long before YouTube... I still did this. I would not keep cars for a long time. I don't know why. It's just something in my brain that just doesn't... Yeah, I don't know why. Give me Ouija board hoodie. Need one for work. We can do hoodies. If you guys want Ouija board hoodies, I'll do a limited run on those. At minimum, we have to do at least 24 on those. Can confirm just installed my flex kit being ran right now. It shows 9.5 to 11.5 e-content on pump. You see? Ethanol sensors should be able to read the whole range from 0% to 100%. There's no, it doesn't read below 70. That's just silly. R33. If I wanted a boatman, I'd buy a boat. I don't want a 33. I don't like 33s. I don't like 34s. 34s are so overhyped. 33s are just not my thing. They look like Impalas. R35 build would be fire, right? Get a Z32 instead. Absolutely not. I love Z32. I can appreciate a Z32 from a distance, but I don't want to work on a Z32. There's a twin turbo Z32. There's no room in the engine bay at all. Because you guys have got to remember, I came from Nissans before Subarus. I was a big Nissan guy before Subaru. So it's I kind of miss the Nissan stuff. What's going on? What's going on, Hypes? We giving away a built EJ25 tonight, dude. R35s are OP. Godzilla is an understatement. Sign me up for a hoodie too. Dope. If you do hoodies, I'll hail to the chief. 35s are just overrated as 32s in my opinion. The only one that people don't consider overrated is probably the R33, and I dislike R33s. I like R32s. I like R35s. R34s, not worth the money in my opinion. R33s, I just don't like the style. I like the front end. I just don't like the rear end. The rear end, I just see an Impala whenever I look at it. MR2 Spider is the GOAT. Those are pretty sweet. Yo, bro, have you seen the automatic Subarus? I have. They have automatic STIs. I've seen them out there. B5 Avant or Evo wagon build. See, my thing with German cars is I've never had a good track record with German cars. Never. The Golf R blew up after a month. The 911 was a pain in the ass, which technically, legally speaking, I still own the 911 for probably 2 more weeks, and then that car is officially sold. We took a deposit on that thing. New owner should be picking it up here shortly, so that'll be nice. Any recommendations on quality shops in Lower Washington, Oregon? Well, I mean, what kind of shops? What kind of, if you're doing... mechanical stuff, to bring it to me. I've been doing so many customer builds lately. You guys are about to get a steam load of customer builds I've been doing. That stock block car. I have a Blurple, that plasma blue pearl color 2012 STI sedan that we're putting a built motor in this week also. And then after these customer builds kind of slow down, the wide body for the 22B, I finally got notification that it will be shipping out on Monday. Hallelujah. That means I can actually do the fun body work. Earlier on in the week, I was doing a lot of the body work on the 22B. I got the hood ready for primer. I've got the door stripped down, which, dude, whoever owned that car before me is a real poop face. I don't know what YouTube's going to allow me to say, but they're a real poop face for everything that they put on that body. FD Haltech 13V terminated harness out of stock in wood. Dude, what harness? Wiring specialties. Absolutely wiring specialties. If I could advise everybody to stay away from Rye-Wire and not buy their harnesses for their cars, 100% go to wiring specialties or anywhere else, dude. That was the worst harness I've ever had to deal with and fix so many problems on it. Any plans on giving us a media flat cap or baseball cap? We did some a while ago. We had this one, I think I finally killed mine. I wore mine for a year straight and I killed that thing. We did them before. I can add them more. What's your thoughts on pops and bangs? Not a fan. Okay, well, let me take that back. I'm a fan if it happens naturally on the car. If you're making power and the car is doing the pops and the bangs naturally, 100%, I'm all for it. If it's not, then that's just It's just not my thing. It's kind of obnoxious. Factory twin turbo RB26 is just as bad as a VG. Yeah, but at least it's inline and not a V. Not a V. Like the V, that thing's wide, dude. There's not a lot of room in there. What's your thoughts? We did that one. Tanner plus German cars equals pain point per. Dude, I just don't get along with German cars at all for some reason. I just don't understand it. I don't know why. For some reason, I just had the worst luck with it. Who makes the wide body for the GC? I ordered the Aero Lux or Lux Aero. They're out in California. They had to wait on their shipment to come in because they're one of the companies that buys the wide body kits overseas, and then they just remarket them and resell them in the States. Or maybe they just have a factory overseas that makes their design. I'm not sure. It's a 22B replica kit, so it's not a hard design to design, but it's an overseas one. We're going to have to do a lot of body work, and we're going to be molding it onto the car, so that'll be pretty sweet. So I'm excited for it. Yo, Tanner, I seen on the giveaway rules that the order needs to be between November 1st and December 1st, but I bought when the RFI... Yeah, I know. So if you place an order on the 31st, I did allow that because I did say in the video that if you placed an order on the 31st, I would accept it in. So if you did put an order in on the 31st of October, you are still good. Don't worry. What's good, homie? What's good? What's good, Subi Charlie? What's up, man? Subaru isn't running right at the moment, but I just installed 6.5-inch speakers. Hey, at least you can sit in the broken car with some good beats now. You can be bumping in there. You can be bumping, and that's what matters. That's what matters at the end of the day. Burble bad. It's just not my thing. Not my thing. Not even Porsches, bro. My Porsche was a pain in the poop hole, dude. It was such a pain. I've had that car almost a year. I put 500 miles on it because I just had to keep fixing things. And I finally got it to a point where everything was finally fixed. I drove it around a little bit, and then that's when I was like, off to consignment you go. You're going to go to a new home. Somebody is going to enjoy you and have a good life with you because I fixed all the problems with you, and they don't have to deal with it now. So, yeah, you know. Y'all keep forgetting that he bought the Golf R and the engine blew. Dude! I had the Golf R for a month, and it ate the spark plug. Why? I have had 50 plus Subaru. Everybody tells me Golf Rs are more reliable than Subarus. I have had 50 Subarus-ish, somewhere around that range. I have never blown up an engine on a Subaru with the exception of the 6-cylinder out of blue. That is the only, and that I was way too rough on that engine, and the anti-lag was way too hard. So that is my own fault. But I have a Golf R. Everyone's like, oh man, they're so great. They last so long. Lasted a month, and an 8-cylinder 3 spark plug. Do you miss the new WRX you had? At times, yes. But overall, I don't find myself wanting to buy another one, if that makes sense. I think it was cool to be able to have a VBWRX for a while, do some of the basic mods that everyone does, enjoy it, and have fun with it. But it's not ultimately a car that I think I would go out and buy again, if that makes sense. Subaru is the most reliable brand. I'm just saying, man, I don't have like crazy issues with my Subarus unless it's a 6-cylinder. Those are my only like Subaru issues. Anyone who says Volkswagen is reliable is full of crap. I will disagree with you right there, James, because our GTI, we still have a 2016 GTI. Melanie Daly drives this thing, and it has been a trooper. It has been a champ. Absolutely no issues. The only issue that we've had as of recent with that GTI is the clock spring went out, and that was actually covered under their warranty. It was an extended warranty or a TSB or something, but they fixed that free of charge. That is the only issue we've had with our GTI. It's a good car, though. I like the GTI. Would I buy another one? Absolutely not. Will I work on the ladies? 100%, but I wouldn't get one. I fix my Subaru constantly. Man, what are you doing, Matt? Why is it breaking? You had issues with Karma. Yeah, and I never blew up an engine with Karma. Karma was just a 130,000-mile Subaru where old sensors were dying. Left and right and back to back. But, you know, some of the issues that I had with Karma were also a little bit self-induced. They overtook Toyota Lexus for I saw that, and I think that has to do a lot with like Toyota dropping the ball with things. Because they had all the Tacoma Tundra issues, the GT86 issues. They're just having issues left and right, it seems like. But it's none of it. It's all no, that's a lie. They're having some issues. Turbos are getaway drugs. That's right, baby. You pulled the motor 5 times. Not on Karma, I didn't. No, I didn't. Not on Karma. Oh, maybe I did because I forgot. I bought the car with bent valves. They didn't tell me it had bent valves. I took the engine out to refresh it, put it back in. It made a ticking noise. Pulled it back out. Tried something else. Put it back in. Then realized it had bent valves. Pulled it back out. Redid everything. Put it back in. You know, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's because I bought that car with bent valves, though. Looking at King bearings, that is literally the only bearing that I use for the engines that I build. King bearings. That's the way to go. 08 WX daily driver, commute 12 to 15K a year, city driving. City driving, that's what gets you, dude. City driving can be pretty rough on cars. If you're not going long distance in cities, that can build up a lot of moisture in there. Depends on, I mean, you said you 12 to 15K a year, though, so, I mean, you're up there. Do you like any of the GTRs? It'd be so cool. Where did you just come in? Because I was just talking about offing one of the cars and buying an R32 and an R35 GTR, which is funny. Are you doing a 2.2 in the 22B rep? I built a 2.5 for it, but I opted not to use that 2.5, so I'm back on the hunt for another engine. I did find a couple 2.2 blocks on Marketplace, but the sellers never hit me back up. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do quite yet. We'll figure it out. I have an EG33 pulled out sitting in the shop right now. Technically, since I don't have an engine for the 22B, I could just put a 3.3 liter in it. I can't. I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to do that, but I could. I don't want. No, I could. I'm not. Maybe. I'm not. No. What do you think that I should monitor as far as access ports on the VB? I have a video on it, just kind of covering access port values. When I had mine, it was dam, feedback knock, intake air temp, oil temp. I believe you can view oil temp on the access port on the VB. Coolant temp, and then there was boost, I think was the other one, in AFR. Maybe there wasn't oil temp, and it was boost in AFR. Between those, coolant temp, IAT, dam, feedback knock, and one of the other ones I picked. Any of those are good options. Put the 2.5 in my car just with an IAG pan. No way, man. David, you need a dry sump. You also need a dry sump. Ha! Don't do the egg, the EG33. Why not? Why not? Come on. Please. Please. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. How long do you warm up your cars before you drive them? Typically, I will just let oil temperature come down. It's not really a time basis because it depends on ambient temp outside, depends on what the engine is, depends on what the car is. Typically, I'll try to wait until I see oil temp around 140 degrees, and then I'll go drive it. Normally, I'm doing something around the shop, so I let them warm up for a couple minutes before I leave, or if I'm leaving the house, I'll let them warm up outside for a little while. But normally, like 140 degrees, oil temp is when I start to drive them. Out of Iowa, so smog is no issue. I just mainly want the gauges offered by the Accessport. Oh, send it, man. Even if you had smog or whatever out there, you can still run an Accessport. Shouldn't be an issue. Fuel pressure on startup is nice. I guess. With the customer cars, can you share on your hourly? I don't do hourly. So if you guys are interested in sending your car over and having a bill, I do everything flat rate. Just because I find it easier for myself and for the consumer if flat rate is just the easiest way. Say I run into a hiccup on your car and it takes 2 times longer than I would normally spend on a car. Or say I get done in half the time. It's just easier to do a flat rate that way. I don't have a dry sump monies. Kidneys, man. Black market kidneys, they sell for some good monies right there. Would a dry sump benefit a stock? No, dude. I was joking about throwing a dry sump on his car. Dry sump is not always the answer. Properly set up wet sump is totally fine for 99.9% of the cars out there. Yeah, but what about external wastegate? Do I just dump back into the downpipe? If you are in a state that tests for emissions where it dumps exhaust gas out before a catalytic converter, then yes. You may need to reroute the external wastegate back into the downpipe pre-catalytic converter. If you're in a state that does not have emissions testing and is kind of free reign, do whatever you want. That's not legal advice. You can do whatever you want, though. Not legal advice. What are your thoughts on an AOS? Do we really need it? Absolutely. Doesn't have to be an AOS, though. It could be a catch can. Either run at minimum a catch can or an AOS. I don't care which one. Get one of them. Get the oil out of the intake track. Anybody that tells you not to get a catch can or not to get an AOS, just stop. Get either option. You don't have to get an AOS if you don't want an AOS. I actually tell people who live in extreme cold climates in the wintertime not to get an AOS, and I tell them to get catch cans. It was released a couple of years ago. I haven't seen IAG actually release any of this in the past couple of years, but a couple of years ago, IAG released a statement that in extreme, I'm talking extreme cold, like negative temperatures in the wintertime in some areas, the moisture in the return line on the AOS could freeze and cause other issues. So I just say, if you live in an extreme cold area, just get catch cans. If you're in somewhere with a normal climate, just get an AOS or get whatever you want. Get whatever you want. Either one will work. Ask around, you'll find out who... why can't I sell my 15 transmission on eBay, 60k miles, 3k? Someone please take it off my hands. Honestly, 3k is kind of high if it's just transmission, if you're asking me. I see 08 to 21 STI transmissions alone sell for like $2,000 on Marketplace, dude. If we're being honest, I mean, you can keep it on there for 3k, Mr. Lucas. Or, who said that? It's me, Turkey. You can keep it at 3k if you want, but I see them all day on Marketplace at $2,000 for just a transmission. Awesome. Thank you. What are your thoughts on ECU Tech? I honestly don't like ECU Tech. I have used ECU Tech on my old 13 BRZ that we turbocharged. Don't get me wrong, it's a good tuning software, but I absolutely hate the interface. I hate the interface of the ECU Tech. You either have to use your phone, you have to use a laptop. When I had it, it was buggy. It was kind of glitchy at the time. I've never been a huge fan of ECU Tech just for the pure standpoint of the user interface and the user experience using the software. I've just never been a huge fan of it. Just installed an IG AOS on my buddy's VB. Really nice. They are. They're solid units. They're solid units right there. What is... Oh. Make sure to empty that catch can. Yeah, well, good rule of thumb is... if you know your car has excessive blow-by, check your catch can whenever you get fuel or every other fill-up. If your car does not have excessive blow-by and it's just rather normal-ish, like maybe a couple ounces every couple thousand miles or something along those lines, just change it. Just check it every oil change. It's either every other fill-up or every oil change. That's an easy way to do it. Ideally, you'd want to rebalance the turb ski though. Rebuilt probably 50 of them already. Oh, he does know what he's talking about, turbo rebuilding. I'll give him that. He did do that for a while. For a reflash, it doesn't get much better than ECU Tech though, especially from a tuning perspective. I'm at the point where I prefer standalones over this stuff. I mean, stock ECU reflashing has its place. I would personally still take an Accessport over ECU Tech if it came down to it, and that's just purely opinion based. I would say use whatever tuning software you are comfortable with, whatever tuning software is more affordable to you, and whatever one gets the job done. Go that route. There is no right or wrong answer for if you should get an Accessport or if you should go ECU Tech. Pick whichever one you want. Both of them are going to get the job done. Personally, I would take an Accessport over ECU Tech. Do you have a recommendation for an engine stand? Are they really all the same? AutoZone, Harbor Freight, O'Reilly's, Amazon. Buy a decent like middle range one. Cheap ones, some of them can be a little bit sketchy. The middle tier ones are not too bad. I use the Company 23 engine stand attachment for most of the stuff I do. But honestly, an engine stand for the most part is an engine stand. Don't buy like the cheapo ones because they might fall apart. Premium, mid-grade. Cobb definitions are really good for tuning. OTS Stage 2, worth it. VB. Honestly, yes. Stage 2 on a VB is actually a game changer, which is intake, top mount intercooler, and charge pipe on the VB side of things. It was a night and day difference, dude, on my VB. Night and day difference for how the car actually drove and responded. Check catch can when you check your oil. If not in SUP, then OB in can. True. Are we going to see Matt every once in a while? I wish, man. I miss Matt too. We all miss Matt. I miss Matt. You miss Matt. Matt misses Matt. We all miss Matt. I rarely see Matt. I talked to Matt the other day. He got mad because FedEx delivered then undelivered his car parts, which was kind of funny. I'm still looking for an equal length header for my O2 Outback. Grimspeed doesn't have one. ETS, Killer Bee, Tomei, IAG, which IAG is just rebranded Tomeis, which come from the same factory, and I believe What is the country I'm thinking of? It's an overseas country. It's one of the countries over in Asia. I want to say it's Taiwan. Is it Taiwan? I think it's Taiwan. Do you prefer another brand over iWire? I mean, for what? Like, for what exactly? Like, iWire makes some good stuff. I personally don't use all of iWire stuff, but they make a lot of good stuff. IG short block 800 with stock head safe, or go long block. I mean, what are you doing with the car, Bill? That's really the determining factor is what are you doing with the car? If it's just a daily driver, I mean, I'd say the IAG is kind of overkill, but it all comes down to what you're doing with it, dude. Didn't Harbor Freight have a self-collapsing stand? That was not an engine stand. That was just a jack stand. It was just a jack stand. E-Tune versus Dyno. I have MGW super famous. I have no idea. I've never heard of. Who's MG? Machines Gone Wild? Is that MGW? Are we abbreviating? You think it's better or worse than getting Dam Tune? So if you have a competent tuner, at the end of the day, if you get an E-Tune or you toss your car on a dyno and you have the tuner either remote in or sit in the car and tune the car, you should end up with the same tuned result either way. It doesn't matter how the car is tuned. You should end up with a very similar result between E-tuning, whether it's on the street, whether it's like what we did where I was driving the RX-7 on the dyno and the tuner remoted in. At the end of the day, no matter how the car is tuned, it should roughly be the same tune at the end of the day. So I'm not going to say that one is better than the other. If you don't feel comfortable doing street polls and doing data logs for your tuner, do it on a dyno. That's the biggest thing that I tell people is if you don't want the liability of getting pulled over for speeding or reckless driving when you're going out and doing these data logs, because you have to do like fourth gear, 3,000 RPM to redline polls, and you're mobbing in some of these cars. So if you don't want the liability of potentially getting pulled over, getting a ticket, or reckless driving added to your record, toss it on a dyno. If you're in an area where you actually have like an abandoned road, like out in the middle of nowhere where you can go do polls safely, go do that. Just do whatever you're comfortable with. But at the end of the day, you should end up with the same tune, whether it's an E-tune or whether it's a dyno tune. It's going to be the same tune as long as you have a competent tuner. Let me specify with that. Now that you've done a few builds with the Haltech, is there anything you dislike about it? I'm thinking about, honestly, no. Okay, yes, but it's resolvable. The only thing that I don't like about some of the Haltech stuff, and this can be remedied with an R5, the amount of inputs and outputs that you have on the ECUs is kind of limiting. It's not necessarily the outputs, but it's more or less the inputs, the AVIs, because those are what are going to control all of the sensors in the engine bay. That's going to be like your coolant temp, coolant pressure, air temp, oil pressure, oil temp, all these things. And you blow through all of these AVIs so freaking fast that you cannot add all of the sensors that you want. Now, on the flip side, you can buy an I/O expander, which is it will expand the amount of inputs and outputs that you have, but only to a certain degree. So Haltech has been my favorite for price, for user interface, for ability, for CAN network, CAN functions, all of the things you can add in. The only thing that has bothered me about it is just the limited number of inputs on the ECU from the factory. But that can be remedied, like I said, with an input-output expander. Have you ever used a Boost Lab Turbo on a Subaru? I have not. I personally have not. Tanner, what radar detector do you recommend? I don't use radar detectors, man. You should probably get one, though. You should probably get one for your car. Your car is going to be gnarly. And, Alexi, I want you to know this because you're going to hear this in the YouTube video when it comes out. I do call your car a bomb multiple times, and I don't want you to take offense to that. It's just the whole stock block thing. And I'm taking bets on how long it'll live. I'm curious. It's really going to come down to how you drive the car, but I'm curious, dude. I want you to keep me in the loop with that. In that case, send the car to Tanner and have Bader tune it. It'll be a rocket ship. I mean, that's what we do for the most part. If anyone's on the west side and they want their car tuned, I work exclusively with Josh for all the cars that we build. If you want Josh to tune them, he can totally tune them. He comes out to the west side once a month. So it's a pretty good setup we got. GIR is mint. I forgot to make the vid from last week. Dude. Does going from 300 to 350 wheel horsepower in STI feel a lot different? I feel like the cost for... I mean... If it's your first time building one of these cars and you're making that jump, it feels like a huge jump in the car. Because it's such a different, and a proper tune on it, making that power, it feels a lot different. Once you've done a lot of these cars and you've driven them from that jump, from that like kind of stock to that 300, 350, you don't really feel much of a difference. But if it's your first time, you're gonna feel it. You're definitely gonna feel a difference between them. Bro, what is the real reason you got rid of your VBWX? I didn't, like, to be honest, I just didn't enjoy it on a level that I thought I would. I thought it was a good car. I had fun with it while I did have it. But at the end of the day, it felt like a watered down version of a VA with a little bit more displacement. If it came to me getting another FA24, to be honest, I would rather buy it in the BRZ than I would the WRX. The FA24 and the BRZ feels way better than the WRX. And I mean, granted, that's also mainly due to weight, rear-wheel drive, and the naturally aspirated just kind of feeling of it. But I honestly preferred the FA24 in the BRZ in a naturally aspirated state than I did in the turbocharged state out of the WRX. I liked the VBWXs. I still like them. But I didn't enjoy it enough to want to keep the car long term. Like it got, like I said, it just felt like a watered down version. Which side are you on? Want to make sure you win the bet. I'm on, dude. I'm giving it a month, max. Max is what I'm giving it. But like I said, it depends on how you drive the car. If you go to Japan, you gonna stock up on parts for us? What do you want? What you want? I've never been. I don't even have a passport, dude. I don't even have a passport. Josh left us on red for 9 months. He does that sometimes, right? He does that to me too. He does that to everyone. Don't feel too hurt by it. I want Josh to tune my car when it's put together, but his site always says he's out of stock for e-tunes. Yeah, dude, that dude busy. That dude busy. Would you run a VS Racing or other budget turbo on a Subaru? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not gonna last. If I'm putting a turbo on a car, I don't want to take it off and do another one on there later. If I'm putting a turbo on the car, I want it to be on there, good to go. I don't have to pull it off to replace it or rebuild it. Do it once, do it right. Buy once, cry once. Buy once, cry once. I've learned this, okay? I had different vibes. Honestly, the way you got rid of it, weird. LOL. What do you mean weird? What do you mean weird? I had two of them. I didn't need two VBWXs, but I just didn't enjoy the car all that much. And you could see in the review videos when I made the review video on the car. Swish, depends on how you experience and how much money you have to sink into it. Hop in this media Discord and ask some folks around there. What are we betting on? How long Alexi's car lasts? You guys will see the video on that car tomorrow night. Stock block 6466. 6,466 miles. It's like 140,000 miles stock block 6466 E85 car. I'm curious. What's your favorite child doggos? Who's your favorite child doggos? I don't understand the question. Who's your favorite child? The doggos? I mean, oh, I see what you're saying. I can't pick between them. I had Yogi first, but like Momo is like attached to me. So I'm not gonna pick. I can't pick, dude. That's not fair. Would you consider an FA24 swap then? Absolutely not. No, I would not. It's just not worth the money. It's just not worth the money to pour into an FA24. I don't want to buy a Motec. I think M-Tron's coming out with a DIT ECU. I haven't heard anything on that in a while, but I'm not buying a Motec. And then I got to buy a whole secondary fuel system. And then I got to build everything for the high pressure fuel system. It's just, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, man. I like them, but not enough to dump that kind of money into them. I felt like the VA FA20 was more watered down, to be honest. As an owner of 15WX and a 24 VBWX, I've owned both, and you gotta remember though. I've always liked my STIs over the WXs, GDs, GRs, VAs, the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm always more on the STI side of things. I've owned 4 or 5 VA WRXs with the FA20s. This was before YouTube. Fun cars for the time. Did like basic bolt-ons, but the VB, I couldn't get behind the VBs, man. I bought one, I modified one, I enjoyed it for a while, but like I said, it's just not a car that I wanted to keep long term. It's not my cup of tea. I prefer the more raw side of things with the STI, especially older STIs. I really like the older STIs the most. Why not? It's fast. I mean, faster. The VBs are quick. I consider them quick, not fast. If that may, like, there are a couple fast VBs out there, don't get me wrong, but the majority of them are quick and not fast. I heard they're going to turbo the GR86 with the 3-cylinder turbo setup on the... I don't foresee that happening, especially with Toyota announcing the return of the Celica GT and everything like that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it would be cool if they did. Didn't you own 2 VBs? I did. I had the white one, I had the blue one, and technically we have another one that's coming to the channel in the next couple of months that you guys will probably be seeing also. But yes, I will have owned 3 VBs at this point. Depends on how it's tuned. If it's pushing balls to the walls, it's gonna blow. Man, if we're going rotated 6466 with the whole kit and caboodle on this car, why would we not go balls to the walls? We're gonna keep it at a mild 600 wheel, okay? Mild. GD STI is a gem. I love driving it. Want to get rid of my other cars and buy another GD. That's fair. That's fair. I understand that. I feel that deep down. Okay, I want another 05 STI deep down, but it really doesn't make sense to buy an 05 STI when I've got the 22B, because the 22B will be like the top tier version of like all of these parts for a Subaru. It's like top tier Subaru. I don't care about being fast more. See, but that's the thing is, what you consider fast, what I consider fast. Fast is such a word with no real definition, because everybody has their own definition of fast. I'm more into making my car handle excellent. You can make any car handle excellent. Like you could take a 1980s RX-7, make it handle excellent. You can make a 1990 240 handle excellent. You can make any car out there handle excellent. I would say it's silly to just be like, yeah, this is the best version of it just because it handles excellent. You can take a 1998 2.5 RS, throw all the suspension, all the chassis mods at it, and probably make it handle better. You could stitch weld it. You can make any car handle like fantastic or excellent. So I think it's not a bad point to harp on. Like, it's a good chassis from the factory. I'm not denying that. Everybody's agreeing with that. But I wouldn't hyper focus and just say like it's such a excellent handling car. Like you can make any car handle excellent. Because the VB looks like a diaper full of crap in the rear, I disagree with that. So I used to, why are we talking about VBWX so much right now? This is the last VBWX topic I'm going on. I used to hate the VBWX the way it looked when it first came out, and after owning it for a while, the looks of them actually grew on me quite a bit. Even when I did the color match flares, I actually ended up not liking them in long term, and I actually preferred the cladding on it. But it's like I disagree. I think they can be made to look good. I think they just need a little bit from the factory to make them look good. When you own one, you learn how to get over the diaper, trust me. Honestly, you don't even notice it. You don't even notice it. Like, at all. Like, I don't think I ever hyper-focused on the rear bumper when I had my VB. Ever. The front end of that car actually looked really good. I was super hyped with how that thing came out and looks. I liked it. I'm missing your point. I don't know what your point was then. Your point went over my head then. I don't know what it was. Blew my motor and swapped to a Type RA, making the 350 wheel, and it's amazing for my first actual build on a car at 21. The STI is truly a great platform. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. EJ207 stroker win. I have 2 EJ207s in the shop in totes. What you want me to do with them, man? What you want me to do? You want me to pull them out? Surprised your channel has never had a Supra or GTR. Well, we were just talking about GTRs earlier. I was talking about selling the RX-7 or putting the RX-7 up for trade for a GTR. I don't know, dude. I actually think maybe I need to talk to a psychiatrist of something that is like deeply mentally wrong with me, where I build a car and then I'm like, sell it onto something else. I don't know why I do this, okay? And you guys will call me out for it, and I'll deny it, and I'll sit here in denial. It's a river in Egypt also. And I'll tell myself that, yeah, man, I'm not going to do that, but then yeah, I do it. I don't know why, okay? There's something wrong with my, I don't know, man. I just do it. I like building shit. I mean, poop. I like building stuff. I like building stuff. I wouldn't sell it. I would trade it. Trade up. I'm joking. Thank you for saying that. I don't hate the VB at all. It will be coveted. I don't think it'll be coveted soon, but I think it's a good car. The Subaru lineup has just gained value from Consumer Reports recently. I don't foresee which GTR, either R32 or R35 is what I would get. I don't foresee VBWX holding value well long term. I don't see VAWXs, VA STIs holding value good long term either, unless it's a Type RA or an S209. The production numbers of those cars are so high, except for 2021 STI, since it technically was the last year produced with an internal combustion EJ engine. But that aside, I don't foresee VBWXs, VAWXs, VA STIs, GRWXs really holding value long term. Decent like GD STIs have, some GR STIs, especially hatchbacks. even the old like 2.5 RSs. I just don't see it happening. The RX-7 is a literal dream to have. You must. The RX-7 is a literal dream to have. You mustn't get rid of her. Dude, like I said, this has just been a thought. This has been a thought in my mind. Like I said, there's probably a couple screws loose in my brain of why I'm like, dude, I finished this car. Let me sell it. I don't know why I do it. I mean, yeah, it's a way to make money, but it's like, you know, I don't know, man. I'm crazy. I'm weird. Selling your project cars is fine. You obviously enjoy making them. That's what matters. Like I enjoy the building process. I enjoy the building process, man. I don't know. But will you sell the? No. So that one, I probably wouldn't sell because so the 2.5 RS is not just an STI swap 22B clone car. And I think I've said this in a video. The 22B is a car that I will be tuning myself. This will be the first car that I actually put on the rollers, I build the map completely for, and I tune the car 100% myself. Now, is that a good idea to do on a fully built engine with a dry sump? Probably not, but am I going to do it anyways? Yes. Do I have the confidence to be able to do this? Absolutely. Do I have the skill to be able to do this? Marginally. I still have a lot to learn, but that car is going to be more of like an R&D experimental car for me to be able to do all of my own tuning and learn how to tune myself. On. So that one I probably will not be getting rid of that because that one is actually going to be like an R&D car for me. The RX-7 was like a car that I've always wanted to build and like have and play with and drive around a little bit. That's not necessarily like an R&D car for me. I feel like that's been there, done that attitude for a car enthusiast, right? I'm debating between a 2011-2014 WRX hatchback and a 2017-2020 WRX. Which do you recommend? Honestly, 11-14 WRX would be my suggestion. More usable, especially in a hatch form. But I guess you could fold down the seats also in a newer one too. I'd say 11-14, but I'm biased, man. I like EJs. Since I totaled my WRX, decided to switch platforms and going the 4Runner. Dude, get the 4Runner! It's pretty much a Tacoma with an enclosed bed, man. I love the Tacoma. The Tacoma doesn't get enough love, but I love the Tacoma, man. Good morning from Lebanon. What's called? Good morning, man. You guys living in the future. It's 8:12 p.m. here. Where are you located, and how do I get to hire you for my build? You can hop on the website, www.smedia.shop. You could either send me an email, or if you're just looking for a short block, you can also order your short blocks on there. But if you're wanting like a custom build done, shoot me an email. Mob Stopper. That's actually a dope name. Appreciate the dono, man. My insurance just paid out my total 2020 WRX with only 36K bone stock for 23K. I mean, I feel like that's not terrible price, actually. I feel like that's not terrible for what the VA WRXs are actually going for. I feel like you made out pretty decent. The 22B build has been my favorite by far. Your build series that you've done. I've been drooling over 20. Dude, right? I'm hyped for it. I haven't had the time to put into that car in the past like 2 weeks that I've wanted. But that's all right. That's all right. Well, after I get through these customer cars over this next week, we should be balling on the wide body kit. We can actually start molding that to the shell and actually getting the entire car painted World Rally Blue, which is going to look good. I fully built my STI, and I'm getting low compression on all 4 cylinders, 120, 105, 105. 120 PSI, 105, 105. What do you think the problem is? What do you think is the problem? 110. That's a really weird way to list your compression numbers. What do you think the problem? Is it like, who built them? Like, what's the motor? What is the engine? Where'd the engine come from? Oh, at test. I need answers. We all need answers, Chris, okay? We all need answers to all of our problems, but we can't always all have that. Now, what engine is it? Where did the engine come from? Are you still planning on doing a car meet at your shop? We're going to do one. Yes. It's just been stupid cold the past 2 weeks, and it's now been downpouring. So I have an eye on the weather for a day that is not 28 degrees at the shop or dumping rain. He could get a decent GD STI with that. Also, Tanner, check the GC. It proves the point of prices from the last stream. It proves the point of prices from the last stream. Also, check the GC. Check the GC. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? VBWX or GR Corolla? GR Corolla is what I would do, personally. I'll get GR Corolla. Cars idling super rich. Do you think relocating my OEM fuel pressure regulator is causing the issues? Possible. I mean, what? That's such a hard question to answer because I don't have all the information for it. Like, why did you relocate the OEM fuel pressure regulator? Where did you put it? What did you do to it? Why did you relocate it? We got blue balls on the 2J build. We'd love to see you slap one in something. I mean, what do you want? What do you want to put? What do you want to put a 2J in? We can put a 2J in something. They're pretty cheap, actually. They're pretty cheap engines. Tanner, it's time to play with water meth kits. Why? We have E85. There's no need for water meth. We have E85. I get E85 by the barrel. I have it delivered to the shop. Why we gotta do water meth? We got ethanol. We got ethanol. Come to the ethanol side. What time are you doing the drawing? We'll probably do it. We'll do it in 15 minutes. We'll do it at 8:30 my time. We'll do the drawing, and we'll pick the winner. Or should we do the winner now? You guys want me to do? You want to do the drawing now? Should we do the drawing now? You want to do the drawing now, or you want me to wait? I'll let you guys pick. You guys decide. Open desk shop built by a local shop here in has mainly what they honestly I could not even begin to help you without knowing like the ring gaps and everything. If they set the rings and they put all the ring gaps in the same spot on a piston, that's going to drop your compression in some of them until it seats. And even then it'll still probably drop it. Thoughts on running 85 without a flex fuel sensor? I've done it plenty of times in the past. You just have to make sure that you have quality E85 and you drain your tank completely before swapping from pump gas over to E85. I do it all the time. Can I be the winner, please? Alexi, this is for a rod and piston engine, man. This wouldn't last in your. It would last a little while in your car, but all right. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it. Hang on. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Is it this one? It is this one. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit this shuffle. I'm gonna put a vote thing up in the chat. And whatever number you guys pick for the shuffle is how many times we're going to shuffle this. This is all order numbers, so nobody knows anyone's names or anything like that. It's just order numbers. So, I'm going to put up a couple numbers in the chat. Actually, no, you guys just start spamming the chat. Give me 4 different options for numbers for how many times you want me to shuffle this. Keep it under 15. Keep it under 15. Okay? Keep it under 15. That's how many times we'll shuffle. You guys will vote. That's how many times we'll shuffle, and then we'll go for it. I'll reference the order number over to so Lance coming in with a whole bunch of numbers. I'll reference the order number over to the orders on the website, and then 69. I said keep it under 25. What is this? What is it? Basic instructions, people. Basic instructions. And then I'll call them, and we'll go from there. Be like last time. 16. What part of under 25? 69, someone had to do it. So yeah, multiples. All right, I see. 31. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Okay, let me go here. Jesus, man. All right, I'm going with like 4 of them that I've seen. If I could spell. Holy guacamole. Okay, I saw you first, I saw plenty of these, and then I saw one of these. Alright. You guys vote on how many times I shuffle this. I'll let this go for 5 minutes, and whatever one we end up on for how many times we shuffle is what we'll shuffle out. And then from there, we'll shuffle, we'll pick winner, and then I will call them. Do 6, then 9, that's 15. What is this, the butterfly effect? PowerPoint instructions, please. What were we winning anyhow? So this is for the Built EJ25 giveaway that we ran for the month of November. So if you guys placed an order on the site, pretty much got entered. Anything over $25 got you an entry. And then we have all the free entries in there also. Paul, 111. Paul, you already won one of the giveaways. Well, you need a second. Have you even put the first engine in your Forester yet? Paul won our first engine giveaway, and I think he still has that engine sitting around, not in his Forester yet. 46. That's how many months up. That is more than 25, sir. The delay doesn't help with I know the delay doesn't help with it. Shipping to Aus. Well, I can't. It was North America. I found out level 10 transmission in New Jersey. Will put clutch pack torque converter valve body into my 22 WX GT to handle. Be careful. Also, I appreciate the dono, my man. But be careful with I can't even say. All the experience I've had with level 10 has been through Matt's transmission, and it hasn't been the best. But would you ever consider looking into this on your channel? Personally, probably not. It's a lot of money to toss into a CVT and an automatic just transmission. It's just, in my opinion, it's just not worth putting the money into it. For at least me, but we have totally different views on what we think throwing money at is worth. So, Tanner, what's up? Appreciate it, man. Congrats on all the progress in the FD cars. Looking to sound sweet. Thank you. Appreciate it. Is YouTube and engine building your main source? I mean, I have a handful of different things. I mean, that's obviously 2 sources of income, but I think I have 6 or 7 at this point. David, appreciate the dono, man. I mean, I could rebuild the car with stock stuff. Come on, man. Right? All right, so it looks like the most popular option is 13 at 40%. So we are going to hit shuffle on this 13 times. Okay? And then we're going to hit click to spin. It's going to spin. It's going to pick an order number. All the order numbers for however many entries you guys all got is all in here, okay? So it's going to do the picking. Let's see that search history. There's nothing even good in there. Oh, you want to look at Christmas trees? I was Googling Target Christmas trees because I was trying to find one earlier. Which, weirdly enough, Target is out of Christmas trees. Forza team watches channel. Hey, hope you're doing good. What's the best server of 350 SDI? FP Blue. That's going to be the way. So, here we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, here we go. Click to spin. We're going to spin it. Hands up. Hands are up. Okay, hands are on my head. I'm not doing anything. It's just doing it. It's just doing it. It's just doing it. 1134. I don't know who 1134 is. I don't know who 1134 is. Hang on. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up 1134. I don't know who 1134 is. Who's 1134? Is 1134 in here? Do we have a 1134? 1134. Raise your hand. Can I get a 1134? Dustin. Dustin. 1134. Do I have a phone number for Dustin? I don't! Lame! I can't call him. That sucks. I guess I'll send him an email. Gary. Who's Gary? Gary 1? Who's Gary? 1134? This is not Gary. Who's Gary? Unless, like, he has a different name. This gentleman is he's in Alabama. Alabama! Dustin, are you in here? Dustin! Mr. Dustin, 1134. Probably on the toilet. He didn't even give me a phone number. I can't even call him. That's the best part is when I get to call him. I was 1094. Damn. I've been called Dustin. Bro, lacked. Damn. So here's what's going to happen. Since I don't have Dustin's phone number, I'm going to shoot him an email. He's going to have 72 hours to respond to me. If he does not respond to me in 72 hours, we will pick a new winner. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Why are people calling me Dustin from Alabama? That sound fair? After 72 hours, if he does not get back to me, we will pick a new winner off of this list. I know half of you guys are like, man, I hope he doesn't answer his emails. I hope this guy doesn't answer his email. I want to go for round 2. I need a round 2. Man, that makes me sad. If you guys place an order, at least put your phone number so I can at least call you. Just go to his house. Let me run down to Alabama. What's his last? I'm not giving out his last name. That's personal information. That's personal information. Lance, you're like, give me his last name. Give me that name. He ordered a 22B t-shirt. Damn. It's probably pooping. Well, it's also, what, 2 hours? Is Alabama 2 or 3 hours ahead of the West Coast? Either way, I don't have his phone number. I can't call him. Can't even call him anyways. That sucks. Can I, like, telepathically call him? Dustin! Call me. You don't even have my phone number, Dustin. Ha! So, yeah, 72 hours. If he doesn't respond to my email in 72 hours, we will go again. And I know you guys are hoping that he doesn't respond to his email. What's his social? I don't know. He don't give me his social media information in an order. Puts his name, his address, his email, and what I would have hoped would be a phone number. Hey, I just got a 2010 STI. Congrats, Dylan. I'm figuring out cash would be nice, but I'm not fretting. I'm happy for whoever wins. I don't mind. Whoop! Let's do it, senor. Calls Tanner claiming to be Dustin, right? Spin 1068 next time. Thank you. I don't get a pick. I get a pick. I meant social security. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do have a social security info. Let me just steal his identity real quick. 22B shirts look fire, by the way. Hey, appreciate it, my man. I've been super happy with it. We ran out of stock mainly of larges, 2XL, and extra larges. So like I said earlier, if your order has not shipped yet, the restock order is coming. As soon as the restock order gets here for large, extra large, and 2XL and certain stuff, those will ship out immediately to you guys. How far are you from Portland, Tanner? About 2 hours? About 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on traffic. Not crazy far. Just borrow Cerebro from Professor. Right. Have you ever experienced any RPM drop with an AMS manifold? I have not. That's a little odd if you're experiencing RPM dropping like that. Who's your designer, by the way? So the way that it works is I'll come up with like an idea. I'll be like, hey, can we do this? And then we've been using Jared. He does all the Vossen stuff for Devin. We've been using them for all of our printing and everything, which I've been super happy with the quality on and all this. Honestly, it's way better than what we were getting from some of the stuff in the past. But it's like I come up with an idea in my head. Sometimes I'll draw it out, or I'll do a very rough design in like Illustrator, and then I'll either call Jared or I'll just send it over and be like, hey man, I'm looking at something like this. Can you clean it up for me? And he's like, yep, no problem. I'm like, sick. Sick. America needs to get more fit so they can buy smaller shirts. I don't know, man. I guess it depends. I mean, it depends. Like a lot of people, if they're going to the gym and they're getting like big, you need a big shirt. You need a big shirt. Okay. 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 We're not out here doing that. I talked to Dustin. He said just send. Okay, James. I'm gonna need some receipts on that one, man. I'm gonna need some verification of his last name. That's it. Man, that makes me sad that he doesn't even have a phone number listed. That hurt my feelings. 2J swap in your preferred small truck, D21 Taco Ram. Honestly, Taco game. The Tacoma is an underrated truck. Okay, the Tacoma needs more love. I want to supercharge the Tacoma. I have an itching deep down to supercharge the Tacoma. It's bad. I'm working with him as well, but he gave me a designer who's super slow, not really excited. Oh, I'm sorry, man. What do you think about 5858 turbos? I don't think I've ever used one. I've never used one. For Subarus, you typically want a bigger exhaust wheel. I think that might be why I've never used one. Source, trust me. 2J swapping, yeah, we did that one. 2J swapping, WX worth it? I mean, how do I answer that? Because is it worth it? That's up to you if it's worth it. It's your money. You're the one spending the money on it. Do I think it's worth it? If you want reliable power with an inline 6 with plenty of aftermarket support and rear-wheel drive setup, by all means, 100%, yes. Hey, do they make any forged internals for the Boxster 2.4? I think IAG actually just came out with a closed deck engine for the FA24, so I believe that they do have some. I identify as Dustin. Give it to me. Does TRD still make superchargers? They do not. Not for the 3rd gen Tacoma. So if I got a supercharger, it would have to be Magnuson or ProCharger. Magnuson or ProCharger. And if I did it, I'd probably get the Magnuson kit because it's a little more of the OEM style, which I'm pretty sure Magnuson did all the OE superchargers for TRD anyways on the 2nd gens and everything like that. But I got an itching for boost in the Tacoma, man. It needs it. Will you be a judge at Northwest Subaru Festival next year again? If they ask me to, I think they asked me this year if I would next year too. I think so. If they ask me, I will again. I'm not gonna. I was pretty hard on judging, man. I feel like I might have been a little too hard. I may have been. I done forward it to me. How was your experience in the military, and would you ever go back to active duty? Absolutely not. I did 5 years in the Army as a 15 whiskey. UAS operator. I did one deployment to Afghanistan, and I was stuck in Fort Polk for the entire time. And my leadership was ass, dude. I had like my warrant officer was chill. I loved my warrant officer. Our OG platoon sergeant, he was pretty chill, but everyone up in like the higher chain of command, like past platoon level, dude, they were so dumb. You know how many times I've mopped a motor pool in the rain? What's the point? Why mop a motor pool? You know what you could be doing that's so much more productive than mopping a motor pool in the rain? Literally anything. Sweeping it would have been more productive. Mopping? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would not do that again. Absolutely not. Especially at Fort Polk, man. Don't get me. I loved Louisiana. I loved the actual state of Louisiana. It was an awesome state. Fort Polk, though, Leesville, DeRidder, nope, not doing that again. Alexandria, not too bad. Lake Charles, not too bad. We used to go to Houston all the time, too. Fort Polk, no, not again. Dude, I was so close to meeting you at Big Northwest last year. What happened? I was there all day. What happened to Matt? He works at Subaru now. I never see him anymore. I miss him. Okay. Warrant officers are always chill. Thank you for your don't you stop that. You stop installing OEM motors as grenades. Submariner here. Yeah, it depends on what branch. Dude, it's not for everyone. The biggest issue that I had with the Army is when I came back from deployment and I went back to the state side. When you go from deployed to garrison, you realize all the crap, like all the dumb crap that you have to do in garrison. And dude, it's just so much easier on deployments. It's so much better. So much better. But no, I would not go back into active duty. Absolutely not. Mopping water builds. In Marine Corps, we used brooms. You probably get more accomplished with a broom than a mop. Those trucks get squirrely with supercharger. Had an '08 Taco supercharged. Fantastic in an absolutely straight line. I mean, what else? You're not mobbing around corners in a Tacoma, I would assume. I mean, if you are, then you're sending it, but I would assume. You signed my helmet at NFS. Dude, I barely remember what I had for dinner like 2 days ago. Okay, I have the brain of a hamster. It's terrible. It is terrible. Beanie restock win. They're en route. They are also en route with the restock. We'll be here soon, I promise. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. Woo! We've been going for a while. We've been going for over an hour. I am going to hop off, you guys. I will keep you guys updated on the winner. Like I said, if he does not get back to me in the next 72 hours, we will do a redrawing, and somebody will have an opportunity to win it next. So I'll shoot him an email, and I'll keep you guys updated. Video tomorrow night on Alexi's stock rebuild. Well, it's not even stock rebuild. Stock motor 6466 car. There will be a dyno video coming of that car later on as well, but that's all I got. I think that's all I got. I'm going to go make some dinner. I'm going to edit this video. Actually, I'm going to make a pot of coffee. I'm going to edit this video for tomorrow. I'm going to go finish Alexi's car in the morning. And then we're going to chill. And I'll keep you guys updated on this. So with that, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend. Well, tomorrow's Sunday, so have an awesome Sunday. I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow in the comments and whatnot of the new video. And I'm chilling. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just rambling at this point. Anyways, with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo! With the karate chop. The karate chop.